Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve thick vocal sounding vocals. Alright, so here I'm in FL Studio 20 and I've got a partial mix, a partially completed mix, and nothing is on the vocal bus. If you have a look here, I'm going to expect this DSR, but we're going to be doing the majority of getting that thick sound on there. When I say thick, I mean having like a juicy, fat vocal sounding mix. Let's play this track so far and let's have a listen.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my theory, ABSD or Savage.
And my base on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on the night tech, dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky, cause that's when it all gets techie. Messy, might have to fly out lefty. That's off with Bemmy, or Temmie. Either way, one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby, thought you was ready.
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna play for now. Now, okay, so how do we, like, when somebody says I want thick vocals, what does that mean? Automatically, when somebody says I want thick vocals, I automatically think about the mid-range and increasing a bit more the mid-range, especially when it comes to EQ. And I also think about compression. So when something sounds thick, it's like it's compressed, and you see the mid-range is a bit more mid-range. It's less, not that it's not clear, but there's less sharpness to it. And it's just more body to it, literally. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go to the vocal bus. Let's play this track quickly without the beat so we can actually see, or not see, but hear what we're dealing with. So I'll play that, just a short bit again.
Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my theory, ABSD or Savage.
And my base on West.
Okay, so there's multiple ways of going about it. Say, for example, the artist already has like a deep voice, then getting thick vocals isn't going to be a hard job. But if the artist has like a light sounding voice, or not even high pitched, but just a light, like the tone of the voice sounds light, then you're going to have to be doing some more processing. So what we're going to do here, first of all, we're going to add some EQ. So let me show you what's going on in the mixer here first and foremost. I think that'll make a lot more sense first. So right now, the way this mixer looks right now, it may look a bit jumbled up to you because you're the one who you didn't mix this track. So to you, it's like, what's going on? It's foreign, okay? So let me try and get your head into the game and understand what's going on here, okay? So first and foremost, if you look at the mixing checklist, link in the description, of course you need to import the tracks and then label tracks, but what I'm trying to go to is point number 2 where it says label tracks. I always label my tracks as lead vocals, vocal dubs, and ad-libs. Those are the 3 fundamental tracks I have. Vocal dubs, even if you don't have vocal dubs, I like to add it there anyway, but even if you don't have it, then at least have the lead vocals and ad-libs rooted into the Vox bus. The Vox bus is the group if you don't know what it is. Okay, so here I've got the lead vocals, I've got the vocal dubs, I've got the auto-tune vocals. So essentially this auto-tune vocals is the auto-tuned version, because when the artist recorded it, and I've routed this auto-tune version into the lead vocals, so it's acting as a lead vocal. Okay, so this is just a background on this mixer. Okay, so that auto-tune vocals is routed into the lead vocals rooted into the Vox bus. So essentially, I created this auto-tune vocal so I can apply the auto-tune effects there instead of putting the auto-tune effects on the lead vocals, which will affect every single lead vocal. Makes sense, right? Cool. Next one, ad-libs. Okay, explain that. Auto-tune ad-libs. Same principle like this. I routed the auto-tune ad-libs into the ad-libs, and then the ad-libs rooted into the vocal bus. Because if I want to apply auto-tune, I could have done it another way by adding automation clips. Check out the card above where I teach how to use automation clips. But I could have done that, but that's a lot of effort, and you need to be fast, and your workflow needs to be snappy, type of thing. So I added the auto-tune ad-libs into the ad-libs type of thing. Now this is sound effects. This is the Siri sound effects. This is Siri hello sound effect, and this is some more sound effects. So I rooted or colored all the sound effects into this color so I can see what's going on. So you kind of see that the auto-tune, everything that's rooted into an individual thing, you can kind of see where it's going. And now that your head is starting to wrap around, okay, it's starting to make sense. This is another sound effect, which probably would have made sense if I highlighted it yellow or this color here. Yep, so that is simple to see, okay? And this is the reverb bus, a recording channel, some more sound effects, and a producer tag, which I can just make all this yellow, so everything, so that it seems like, okay, there's structure to it, because I'm all about having structure when it comes to recording and just mixing in general. So I can even put this towards the side. Okay, makes sense now? Nothing's too complicated, right? Okay, cool. That's how everything is rooted. On the lead vocals, I only added EQ, this type of EQ here, and a delay. I know I didn't. That's not enabled, so forget about that. And I added like a tape stop effect as well, which you guys can see or hear eventually in the track. So let me play you guys the lead vocals quickly without the reverb, and let's play it from like this verse bit here.
Ready. She said, I swear you're a chopper. I'm like, darling, like, what does that mean? She been hearing the down and boys love to chop girls and then just leave.
So without any effects, because I think that'll be crucial to actually hear how the original source file sounded like. Then when we go to the vocal mixing side of things to get it thick, it'll make a lot more sense. So without any vocal bus and without anything on the lead vocals, and in fact anything else rather, let's do that. So this is how it sounds like.
Ready. She said, I swear you're a chopper. I'm like, darling, like, what does that mean? She been hearing the down and boys love to chop girls and then just leave. Like, darling, please.
On this specific track, I think I recorded this months ago. I recorded the first one months ago, and yeah, I think initially this track was actually recorded in 2020, and then I think the artist came back and then we did like a revised edition. So you can see here, if you go to arrangement 1, you can see this is the original. If you look closely to the tracks, it says 2020. You see the date. Okay, but now this one, I think the artist came back and then we recorded another version. Okay, so initially when I recorded with my first microphone, I recorded with these plugins, and that's when I used to record a lot with just plugins on the insert chain. I added EQ before, a gate, and a compressor. But when the artist came back to record now, I only enabled the gates, and you guys can see these ones are muted here. So I only added the gates, and because I've kind of changed my way of thinking, I don't really like adding too many plugins on the recording chain, as if it's the VSTs or plugins. But if it's analog gear, then boy, I'm finna do that, maybe, and we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so that's how it sounds like without any effects. So let's enable everything else back up, and let's enable the effects again. Okay, so now let's go over to the vocal bus, because I feel like we've kind of gained an understanding of all of that stuff there. So the vocal bus now, look.
She said, I swear.
So I just added this DSL just to tame some of the harshness and some of those high frequencies there. So now I'm going to.
She said, I swear you're a chopper. I'm like, darling, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's that there. So let's add. The first thing we're gonna add some EQ. So I'm gonna look for an EQ to add here, just to get it to kind of control the overall vocals first and foremost. So let's think of an EQ to add. I'll probably just add the FabFilter EQ also, if I can find it. I think that would be a nice addition if I'm using FabFilter Pro DSO as well. And I'll use this also. So let's use this. Cool. So I've opened up this FabFilter Pro Q. What I'm gonna do now is just cut a lot of the lows, but not a lot, because we're trying to maintain that thickness. And then the mid-range is where the majority of things are going to happen. So I'm not going to try and add so many plugin layers to this all in one go. I'm going to try and just minimize the amount of plugins I'm using while still aiming for that thick vocal sound. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's mute the beat.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love.
Okay.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
I'm just trying to hear the difference in where I should cut it from the low side, or when I should basically where I should place this slope.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
I still go north.
Because if I just enable that side there, it's just boominess, and it's not really necessary like that. But let's continue.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre.
Now we're gonna try and increase some of the low mid range.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
But not a lot, because we're gonna try and use the compressor after this. Then we'll go ahead.
Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
And my bass from west, can't find out that I still go north.
Okay, let's hear without the EQ.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre.
With the EQ now.
Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's do also vod.
Yeah, I can hear that there's a bit more of controlledness. I can hear that the lower end is being much more controlled. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna hear some of these other frequencies here. We're gonna put a point here. Listen to this, maybe attenuate it.
Hey Siri, Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on the night tech. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky. Cause that's when it all gets techie.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
The thing is about Thickk here, there's lower end and there's high end, and I think the thickness is a balance of the three frequency splits. So the low end, mid range, and the highs. But of course, there's much more low mid range and lows. So let's just continue playing around with this and add some compression now.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance.
Okay, let's see it without it.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north.
With it now.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him.
Just subtle. You probably might not even hear it if you're not using high quality headphones or whatnot. But let's continue. Let's continue adding some plugins. Okay, so next we're going to add some compression. Now, there's multiple ways. I'm thinking I could either use a multi-band compressor, maybe not straight off the bat, but let's add one of the favorite ones I use is the R compressor. I like overall what sound it gives as a first compressor. So let's add that anyway. Okay, let's add that. So we're gonna add the R compressor, the stereo version, because we're on the bus here. Cool. Let's minimize this thing just a little bit here and go like this. Okay. So we're gonna play the threshold and the ratio and the gain and attack and release.
Hey Siri.
So when getting thick, you need to compress that. We're gonna compress it quite significantly. We're gonna see if it sounds good first and foremost.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north.
And when it starts to become thick, you can hear the dynamics. You can hear where the attenuation of the dynamics is occurring or taking place ish.
Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on the night tech. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky. Cause that's when it all gets techie. Messy, might have to fly out left. And soft baby. Yes. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanco, like baby, thought you was ready. She said, I swear you're chopper, I'm like darling.
Okay, I think that's sounding a bit better now, especially having that thick sound, because now it sounds proper thick. EQ there was more like, okay, just tinkling with stuff right here, but the compressor is where the majority of the thickness happens. So for thickness, compress it a lot more. It's almost like the heavy vocal mix style, but the heavy vocal mix style is like there's a lot more lower end, and thick is more like nice balanced EQ, just a general, not too drastic EQ, and then having like a kind of hard hitting compressor, not hard hitting too tough, but a significant amount of compression, and then going forward from there.
Hey Siri.
So let's hear without the compressor.
Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
With the compressor now, and you can also hear that it's not just the gain difference, but even if I try, I'll match the gain shortly, but you see.
Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
Okay, let me increase the gain now, and you see what I'm trying to say.
Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on the night tech. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky. Cause that's when it all gets techie. Messy, might have to fly out left. And soft Bemmy. Yes. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you scream.
So you can hear that whilst I'm muting it and playing at the same time, you can hear the differences that's being made. So you can hear that, yeah. You can hear that naturally. You can hear the thickness of the vocal take there just by adding some compression. I think that's the main thing, adding EQ and compression. We could even stop right there. Let's play with the beat. I'm not going to stop right there. I'm just saying that we could stop right there and just continue. But let's play with the beat now, with the effects with the beat.
Hey Siri. Tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Thickk. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky, cause that's when it all gets tech.
That's good. Okay, next one we're gonna add is some EQ, but this one is gonna be a dynamic EQ. And I like, you know me, and I like adding my F6 EQ, you know, the dynamic EQ. I just like adding that so much. But this one, the reason why we're gonna add a dynamic EQ for getting thick vocals, because we can play with it. We can play with it for real, for real. So I'm gonna go for the lower end. I always usually start off the lower end. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the time I start off with just controlling the lower end. So I'm just gonna not do it too tough, but just slightly lightly.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. ABS, do also watch.
Then I'm gonna go to like number 3, number 4, and then try and increase that. And then yeah, let's play.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. ABS, do also watch. And my bass on West.
So we want more of that frequency there.
Hey Siri,
So let's play with the threshold.
hey Siri,
Attack and release as well. Let's have a fast attack and a slow release. Increase the range, so it's gonna go up.
hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. ABS, do also watch.
And my bass on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Thickk. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha.
So you can see, instead of we're not taking away frequencies too tough, but we're actually increasing the frequency whenever that bit is activated. And we don't want to do it too much, otherwise it'll sound boxy, because the difference between thickness and boxy, when it's thick, there's no space. When it's boxiness, you can hear, okay, you can hear the space between whatever the objects are. You get what I'm trying to say? Cool. So we're trying to eliminate the boxiness sound. But of course we added reverb, you can hear the reverb, but that's for like spacious effects, not in the same sense that you can hear the difference between where the box, it's like when you're inside a box you can hear, okay, how big the box is and how small the box is and whatnot by the reverberations. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of try and attenuate a bit the low end, because that's always what I'm doing when I'm EQing the low end side. So let's try and do that as well.
Hey Siri, hey Siri,
And my bass on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Thickk.
This one I'm gonna use the dynamic one as well. So
hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. ABS, do also watch.
And my bass on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Thickk. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky, cause that's when it all gets.
okay, sounding alright, but I think what we need to do now is we're not going to use this dynamic EQ anymore, but we're going to use a different type of EQ, and then we're going to use like a bus compressor, like a proper bus compressor. So the EQ I'm going to use next is so we see, okay, let's look at the chain for now. DSR, Fab Filter, Pro Q, compressor, EQ, and see, everything is EQ and compression, as I always say. Okay, so we're going to add this plugin, where is it, the SSL channel stereo. We could add this one, SSL, this is the G channel. So we could add this one, and this can actually do, this can actually just, we can use this as the overall thing. Okay, so what we could do is go to the EQ bit here. Actually, instead of this one, I'm actually going to use the virtual mix rack. Okay, I think that'll be easier. It'll be easier to actually show it there. Okay, so let's go to the virtual mix rack by Slate Digital, and then we're gonna use their version of their EQ. Okay, I think it's just a bit easier to demonstrate. Don't get me wrong, the SSL one is fantastic. Okay, cool. So let's delete this. What we're trying to add? We're trying to add some EQ, right? So we're gonna go to where it says EQ, and then we're gonna add we could use one of these ones, but these ones, when you add the EQ, it's subtle. It has to be subtle movements, not drastic things, because it's crazy. You hear it's pronounced. The EQ is so pronounced. So let's go to EQ. Let's go to this one. Okay. What we're gonna do is just kind of reduce the lower end. I like the way this one sounds ish. So let's play the track.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. ABS, do also watch.
And my bass on West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Thickk. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky, cause that's when it all gets techie. Messy, might have to fly out lucky. S off will Bemmy.
Yes.
Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby thought you was ready. She said, I swear you're chopper, I'm like darling, like what does that mean? She been hearing the Downham boys love to chop girls and then just leave.
That's what I'm gonna add there. You see, I just used that one plugin just to add that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Really and truly, that's pretty much it. I could add another compressor here, but I'm not gonna add that type of compressor, so I'm gonna add like a bus compressor at this stage. Okay, so the bus compressor I'm gonna use, I could really and truly just add it to the master bus, the bus compressor, or I could add it to the Vox bus. Usually what I'll do, if I'm gonna use the bus compressor, I'll probably do it on the mix bus, on the master mix bus. But let's try and add it on the vocal bus here and see if it works out. Okay, right now we've added a chain of plugins. So this bus compressor here that I'm trying to use is this SSL comp, and this has a nice feel, especially for mastering. This is fantastic for mastering. Okay, this is the G Master bus compressor. Okay, let's try and use it on the vocals. So we're just gonna mute the beat for now, which is already muted, and go ahead and continue.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my freak.
Let's exaggerate, then we'll come back to reality.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Nike Tech. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky. Cause that's when it all gets techie, messy. Might have to fly out.
Let's keep the analog version in as well.
Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
And my bass from West, can't find out that I still go north. Might slap on a Nike Tech. Dig that with the Air Force Ones. Can't let Keisha know about Becky. Cause that's when it all gets techie, messy. Might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way what.
Let's add some more reverb to this jet sound effects, because it kind of, you can kind of hear that it washes out kind of quickly. So let's go back to that.
Becky, messy. Might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie.
Still does it. I only have to go back to it. But anyway, let's play without this bus compressor and with it.
Becky, messy.
This is without it.
Becky, messy. Might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko.
This is with it now.
Becky, messy. Might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby fool.
Let's play with the beat.
Becky, messy. Might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby fool you was ready. She said, I swear you're chopper, I'm like darling, like what does that mean? She been hearing the Downham boys love to chop girls and then just leave. What? Like darling please, all of us just mash up peas. But secretly, don't tell all the Barbies wanna fuck with the team. Like babes, what? Do you wanna fight with the choppers or not? Man's pouring this Henny down her neck and we make the party rock no stop. So there's lighty in the corner, but this brownie won't leave me alone. Shots.
That's okay, that's sounding good. I'm gonna go back to the virtual mix rack and then kind of decrease a bit more the low end, because I can hear it kind of pronounced in these headphones.
Becky, messy, might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby fool you was ready. She said, I swear you're chopper, I'm like darling, like what does that mean? She been hearing the Downham boys love to chop girls and then just leave. What? Like darling please, all of us just.
Cool, I think that sounds alright overall. Sounding thick to me. I'm just gonna quickly on the master bus add like a limiter so that you guys can hear it loudly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is not mastering right now, but in terms of the vocal mix and whatnot, let's have a listen.
Becky, messy, might have to fly out Lecky. And softball Bemmy. Or Temmie, either way one of them go get me. Love when you're screaming Lanko, like baby fool you was ready. She said, I swear you're chopper, I'm like darling, like what does that mean? She been hearing the Downham boys love.
Let's play it from like about here.
Things like babe I'm sorry.
Hey Siri,
Hello.
tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage. Got body to my left and right. If they don't move right, then they're gonna get left. But darling, you ain't gotta be shy. This ain't your first time, my bro, he said. Hey Siri, tell me the bed bizarre. Tell him she love my fragrance. Baby, it's Dior Sauvage.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below what you want to see next. This was the Thickk vocal tutorial. Make sure that when you do this, mainly do it on a vocal bus, because that's when you can achieve the majority of the thickness and so on. You can of course achieve it on the lead vocals, vocal dubs and whatnot, but I feel like, and this is what I've been teaching, that the things you do on the lead vocals, vocal dubs and ad-libs individually is just to clean that specific vocal take ish. But experiment and see what works for you, because what works for me may work for, it depends on what you're trying to do and what genre or what you're trying to do. So yeah, just do what you need to do. Check out the free mixing and mastering guide below. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do like, comment, subscribe, press the join button and become a member of this channel. You help support me and this channel, and we'll be producing a lot more content, and you get exclusive perks, especially to the vocal multi-tracks and whatnot. If you made it this far to this video, or in this far, if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below the hashtag more. It kind of just it's kind of a way for me to see that who's actually watching this video to the end, to see if it's even worthwhile, if everybody's watching it. If you are, then just comment below. I'll be very appreciative if you do so. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of me recording today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.